Hi, I'm Janet Fielding. I played Tegan in Doctor Who, the Five-ish Fangirls. Have a good time.
The tangents this week continue all the way to episode 213 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And it may be 2019, but let's take a moment to turn back and look at 2018. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad to join us. Let's start off like we do every week, but on the virtual table, and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Bethlehem.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is a very sneezy Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. You would think it was springtime, the way I've been sneezing. But I have 4 inches of snow outside.
Yeah, I was sneezy girl too about 3 hours ago, but
oh my goodness,
it's calmed down. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, this is just my life. I'm just the queen of just allergic to the outdoors. So it starts to rain. Sinuses, my sinuses get messed up. It's gonna snow. My sinuses get messed up. The trees start blooming. My sinuses get messed up. Yay!
Yay!
They start plowing the cornfields. My sinuses get messed up.
There's only that little bitty bit of a sweet spot during summer, but then the rest all bets are off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but enough about my nose.
We're going to be doing a little bit of shared turning back time.
Yes. Do our best share impression. Oh. Just one piece of news that I forgot about. I don't know how I forgot.
We've done a few episodes about this little piece of news.
Yes, just a little bit. So we've got another teaser, and more importantly, an actual date for the return of Game of Thrones, the final season of Game of Thrones. So, and as we were joking right before we started recording, the Iron Bank would like your money because it is returning April 14th, right around tax time.
Yes.
And
we have some scaly winged auditors that might be coming to double check things.
Mark Gatiss shows up at your front door. He's not there to talk Sherlock. He is there to collect taxes on behalf of the Iron Bank.
And you have plenty of time to do a rewatch if you so choose.
Yes. So, once again, it is just a teaser. It's a very cool teaser.
Oh yes,
with the Stark children. I'm doing air quotes that you can't see because Jon Snow. Because we don't know yet what name Jon Snow is going to take. If he's going to continue to call him, want to be called Jon Snow, or if he's going to want to change his name to Targaryen, which technically it is. So because he was not born out of wedlock, so. We'll see what he decides to do. At this point, it'd be weird to call him anything other than Jon Snow.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna if he does officially change his name, I'm okay, but I'm still gonna maybe think of you as Jon Snow.
Yeah, it's like after all these seasons, you really want me to start calling you Aegon Targaryen? I don't think so.
Besides, Jon Snow's a lot easier to say.
Yeah.
Yes. The royalty formerly known as Jon Snow.
Yeah, really.
Yes, I went there.
Yeah, well, hopefully he's still alive at the end of the series, so we can call him something.
True.
No, I jinxed it.
I know. Anything can happen. That's the thing. Anything can happen. So.
I'm expecting everyone to be dead. The end to be I don't know.
Yeah.
Just the dragons.
Everybody's gonna be dead. It's gonna be the dragons and a freaking raven on the throne, like a literal raven, not like the three-eyed raven. I'm not talking Bran Stark. I'm talking a literal raven is going to be sitting on the Iron Throne.
Didn't Dinklage say that Tyrion was supposed to have a happy ending?
Yeah, but he could be lying. Or he could be in denial.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it also depends on what a happy ending for Tyrion would be. So,
Him walking away
Tyrion
from it
did
all?
not look very happy at the end of last season.
Oh no.
So, but yeah, so Game of Thrones, mid-April, April 14th, it shall return. And remember, there's only 6 episodes, so the season's going to go by really quick.
Yes.
Granted, they're all stupid long episodes,
Yeah, I was gonna
but
say,
there's
aren't they
still
like-
only 6 of them.
Aren't they like almost full length?
They were talking
They're like
one of them
feature
is like
length.
in a 90 minute time range.
Yeah.
So plan your beverage and food intake accordingly.
Because HBO really doesn't do commercials, so.
No.
Yeah, they don't do any commercials.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna wait.
Yep. So make sure you got all your snacks, plan your liquid intake appropriately so you don't have to get up.
We're almost talking like Marvel movie strategizing.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And I'm gonna be so impatient. I should like wait until like watch it the next day because it's on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be tired, but I know me. I'm gonna watch it.
Well, yeah, because otherwise you'd have to stay off the internet.
It's like I remember last season they like would post like articles like as soon as the episode aired, like as soon as it was done.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like how did you?
So, if you've been holding off getting an HBO account, I would say too bad it's only 4 episodes, because then you could just do like a free 30-day trial and you'd be done with it. It wouldn't last long enough. So.
Nope. 6 episodes.
Yeah. So get the the free trial, and then you only have to pay for a month.
Yep, exactly.
So that's 1 month of HBO Go. It wouldn't be that expensive.
No.
I was like $15, I think.
Yeah.
Last
So basically, cost of the pizza.
Yep. So there you go. Game of Thrones. Winter. At this point, winter is not coming. Winter has arrived.
Yeah. With a vengeance.
So I fully expect like a big trailer though, if for that return date. I'm guessing Super Bowl probably.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which, hey, speaking of that, looks like I might actually have someone to cheer for.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but there's potentially a couple of teams that I actually wouldn't mind winning, not just beating the other team.
I gave up weeks ago, even though we just got knocked out. So.
My team
going into Saturday, it was Saturday's game, and because I know Glenn was there at the game, and I was like, just looking at the weather, I'm like, yeah, no, that's bad for us. We're on the road, it's snowing, it's cold. Yeah, we're screwed. And we were. So I didn't even consider talking smack to any of the guys, but I was like, no, there's no point. So, but hey, if the Chiefs want to continue on, I'll jump on the bandwagon on behalf of the Vortex guys.
Yeah, that's like. They're going against they're going against. Oh man, I don't remember now. Like one of my least favorite teams. I can't remember what.
Well, did New England win?
Yeah,
Yep, that's
they're
probably
against,
it.
they're against the Patriots.
Yeah, so even if we had managed to win, going up against New England again in an AFC championship game, our track record is not usually good, especially if we had to go to Foxborough, which I'm assuming we would have. So anyway, sports ball, yay!
Sorry about that tangent.
It's that time of year where, other people are excited about football, and I'm over here like, okay, Game of Thrones comes back. When are the Oscars? How long till spring? Okay. How long till Captain Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
Soon. So, all right. Well, that's really our only piece of news is Game of Thrones. So, again, it's just been kind of quiet, but this is the calm before the proverbial storm of other things, I guess. So, we are going to do our annual Fandom Year in Review. So, for anybody that may be new to the show and is not familiar with this, what we do is at the beginning of a new year, we take an episode and go back and look at things that happened in our fandoms over the course of the previous year. So we go month to month and touch on the good, the bad, the sad, the ugly, all that fun stuff. So it is always interesting because there's always stuff that I've forgotten happened.
Yeah, I was going through it and like, and there's some stuff I'm like, wait, that happened that early on? Like, this one that was later in the year.
Yeah. So, all right. So January of 2018 saw the return of the X-Files for season 11, for better or for worse. Which we discussed ad nauseum. We saw the passing of Peter Weingard, who was in the Doctor Story Planet of Fire and was also in Flash Gordon. And then we also got the announcement of the engagement and impending nuptials of Princess Eugene of York to her then fiance, Mr. Jack Brooksbank, which meant we were going to have 2 royal weddings in 2018. Harry and Meghan Markle's engagement had been announced in 2017. So, Minnie Mouse received her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which was pretty cool. And then author Ursula K. Le Guin passed away as well in January. In February, John Mahoney passed away. Depending on how old you are, I guess. I think most people recognize him as the father on Frasier.
Yes.
Which Chauncey is still binging, although he's almost done. Again. So. Still trying to convince him he needs to watch something new. I told him he really needs to watch Stranger Things season 2 before season 3 comes out in July, considering he's not watched it yet. So hopefully I can convince him to.
He always seems to be behind.
He is. He needs to watch Stranger Things, and he needs to catch up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Also in February, we got the not so surprising news that Once Upon a Time had finally been canceled. About a year too late. We all went, okay, finally. There was a D23 Expo in Japan where Disney announced a whole bunch of updates for parks around the world, including the refurb and kind of retheming of Paradise Pier at Disney's California Adventure, which is now, it's all been finished and now it's known as Pixar Pier. The California Screaming Coaster got rethemed to the Incredicoaster. So it's way more Pixar-fied now. And then they announced a bunch of stuff for the out of US parks as well, including a Marvel attraction at Disneyland Paris. So, giving me more reasons to go to Disneyland Paris. Oh, you had me at Marvel. So, Gen Con announced a contract extension with Indianapolis, so the convention will continue to remain through 2022, which now doesn't seem so long now.
No, it doesn't.
At the
I'm doing the
time,
math. I'm like, ooh.
That's that.
And then we also got the release of the new Doctor Who logo.
That was something I thought was later on in the year, by the way. Like, I thought that was more summertime than February.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Just for some reason in my head.
Yeah. And then we had our first guest of the year. Kevin from the True North Nerds joined us on episode 176, which was our doing our kind of quote unquote top 10 favorite animated musicals.
Yep.
So.
And then we had the release of the Black Panther.
Yes. Which then went on to make buttloads of money and break all sorts of records and is still blazing a trail for comic book / superhero movies.
And it did win a couple Critics' Choice Awards last night, but it was for more of the technical stuff. And
well, Oscar nominations should be out next week, I think, if it stays in the similar time frame. So we'll see. We'll see if Black Panther can continue to blaze that trail for the superhero fandom and break out of just the technical categories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that includes the music categories. I mean, the music categories are always fun because, you know, stuff we enjoy does tend to get nominated, but it would be nice to get a little higher up in the and usually later in the broadcast. Those categories that you end up staying up way late to watch.
Yes.
Because those are the ones people really care about.
Yeah. It's like, oh
You
my
just want our
gosh,
stuff to be taken
I've got work
serious.
tomorrow. I should be in bed.
Yeah.
5 over long acceptance speeches. Cue the shepherd's hook.
Yeah.
Let's get going.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it's like a double-edged sword with something like the Oscars, because the stuff that we tend to enjoy doesn't get nominated for those bigger categories that come later in the broadcast. You almost could go to bed because you're not that concerned about it. Right. But when stuff we do care about gets nominated, then you're like, I want to stay up and see it on the off chance that they win, and that's probably going to be the case when we get nominations likely next week. So even if Black Panther doesn't get up there, you know, for like best picture or anything, we know like Rami Malek's going to get nominated more than likely for Bohemian Rhapsody. Bohemian Rhapsody is likely to get nominated. Lady Gaga is likely to get nominated. So it's like I'm still going to want to stay up just an off chance that Rami Malek wins an Oscar. So you know
exactly. He did lose out for Critics' Choice.
Yeah. So,
but Lady Gaga and Glenn Close tied for Critics' Choice last night for Best Actress in Drama.
Yeah. No.
So, a little extra.
We'll find out next week.
Yes.
More than likely. So, anyway.
Yes. Somebody stayed and watched an awards show last night.
Yeah. It happens.
Yep.
March of last year, Marvel quote unquote moves the release date for Avengers Infinity War up a week, supposedly at the suggestion of Robert Downey Jr., but I think we all know it was probably planned anyway.
Yeah. Mhm.
But it was
They
fun
just
to
let him
watch it
thought it was
anyway.
his idea. Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun to watch the Twitter exchange anyway.
Yes.
Um, David Ogden Stiers of MASH passed away. The Librarians was unfortunately canceled in
That
March.
was a surprise one.
Yes.
Yeah, that one bit.
Still a little bitter. Still a little bitter about that one.
Still. Goodness. We saw the release of Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm.
And people, I think, are still trying to find and identify all the Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
The X-Files reaches its quote-unquote end.
Yep.
Season 11 ended. As far as we know, the series has ended for now.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Again.
I was gonna say,
Really, it just needs to be like Once Upon a Time and be like, okay, you're done.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
It was fun. We have the memories.
Yes.
Don't come back.
Mm-hmm. Cigarette Smoking Man, I think, has officially run out of lives.
We can only
He
hope.
should, or at least he should have.
We can only hope.
Yep.
but
And then I did my first conventions of the year where I attended Indiana Comic-Con, and I say attended very loosely because I spent part of a day helping out the Who North America booth and then left and did not step back into the convention center the rest of the weekend. And then Hoosier Con was actually that same weekend, so I ended up going to it for one day because in the middle of that, I ended up getting very sick, which was not fun. That was a fun way to end March going into April. April, we did our photo challenge, our 10 years of the MCU photo challenge, which was fun to see what people came up with considering how broad, we left it.
yeah.
So Chauncey and I appeared on the Spark of Madness podcast for the first time of the year, talking Ready Player One. We had guests again when Albie and Chris from the Quantum Leap podcast joined us on episode 182 talking about Quantum Leap.
Would never have guessed that.
No, I know. So, which that was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
Vern Troyer, aka Mini-Me from the Austin Powers franchise, passed away in April. William and Kate, aka the future King of England, welcomed baby number 3 with a baby boy, Prince Louis. Yep. So the Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery mobile game is released, and I'm still playing it. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm still playing it.
I'm not playing it as much as I've been because I've been busy, but I'm still playing it.
Yeah. So we're I think we're so far into the game that people are like playing it, and then they get to the point where it's like they haven't released more of the story, so like waiting, and in the meantime they're giving us like filler things to do. So there was just a side quest to become a knight, to be knighted by Sir Codigan, the knight, the portrait, who you remember took over temporarily for the fat lady.
Yes.
The entrance to Gryffindor Tower.
Yep.
So it's been interesting. I'm interested to see where it goes, as we're getting at least as far as where I am. I'm as far as I can get in year 5, but it's getting to the end of year 5, and supposedly someone's going to die by the end of year 5. I have an idea of who it might be, but I'm not going to say anything. No.
Is it sad that I kind of like expect like once like the game post started, like I kind of expected to like someone's going to die.
Well,
Am I horrible? Or am I
Yeah,
just
well,
I
I mean, it's
Based
the
on what
Wizarding
we
World of Harry
know.
Potter, so
Yeah.
True.
Based on what we remember of the Harry Potter books.
yeah. Yep. So, but I mean, what's going to happen once we reach the end of year 7? I don't know, but you know.
That's like I'm curious
the-
about like what they're gonna do.
Yeah, but considering the game's been out for almost a year and we're only in year 5, so you know, we should make it to the 1 year mark at least. I hope, as far as before reaching the end. Oh.
I think I remember like when we, not necessarily when the game came out, but like when like right around the time, we were thinking like maybe the story would be finished by like Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, but I
No.
feel like I've been in year 5 for like 5 years. So
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe after year 7, we're like, okay, now we're going to test to see which job you have in the Wizarding World.
yeah.
Are you going to be working for Mom, or are you going to be doing something else?
Maybe. Who knows?
Mom, Ministry of Magic, for those of you who were.
For you muggles out there.
Yes.
Yep.
And then of course the end of April saw the release of Avengers Infinity War, and we all died.
Yes.
We all needed therapy.
Yes.
We all needed therapy. I still feel
Actually,
like I kind of
half
need
of
therapy.
us died. The rest of us needed therapy.
Yes.
Somebody screenshotted. Supposedly, The Simpsons had a little nod to
The
Infinity
couch
War.
gag.
the couch gag with Thanos and Maggie.
Yeah. Oh my. Oh, and the memes since then
Oh yes,
have it's been almost a year, and
still too soon.
still too soon and still going strong. I think the latest that I've seen recently was it says like Avengers like puzzle or something advanced level, and it's essentially a bag of dust.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like, why?
I know. It hurts. It just hurts. Oh my. We're probably still gonna need therapy after Endgame too.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like we have like what, 3.5 months till Endgame, and like
Yep.
I'm not ready. Like I'm ready to get it fixed, and at the same time I'm not ready. Like I wanted to get fixed, at the same time it's like no, because people are probably still gonna die.
I was gonna say what's been hinted and from what I know, what could possibly happen. We're gonna have a happy ending, but not a very happy ending.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah. It totally does.
Yeah, we're gonna get an ending, but it's not gonna end the way we think it's gonna end. To paraphrase a certain Jedi Knight.
Yeah, really. Exactly. Oh my. So in early May, we picked ourselves up off the floor long enough to record our review of Avengers Infinity War. And we had guests for that episode. So Kevin from True North Nerds joined us again, and then Cullen from Cult Cinema Cavalcade joined us to discuss the movie. That was episode 184. If anyone wants to listen to us cry, essentially, for like 2 hours.
Yes.
So, also in May, Hasbro announced that they had purchased the Power Rangers for $522 million.
That's quite the chunk of change.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of morphin time.
Yep.
So, but hey, if anyone should have control of that franchise, Hasbro makes sense. I mean, they're like, when you think of toys,
Yep.
you think of Hasbro.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when I was younger, I thought Hasbro owned or part owned Power Rangers.
they may have had a licensing agreement.
That could be.
That could be it. Because the Power Rangers have changed hands a few times
Yeah,
in their 25 years.
Was it even part of Bandai at one time?
Yeah.
I definitely know
Disney
Bandai
had
over
them.
that.
Disney had them for a short time. So there were Power Rangers in the studios at the time. I think it was still the MGM studios, but yeah, even the Power Rangers were at Disney World at one point. So it was kind of wild. But I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be happy at Hasbro. So. 2018, speaking of Harry Potter, in universe marked the 20th anniversary of the Battle of Hogwarts.
Holy cow, it's been that
That's-
long.
Yep, in universe, yes.
Yeah.
So, kind of crazy.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and then Carl, the head honcho at PopCon, joined us on episode 185 to talk about the con, that last year's con, as it was quickly approaching. We also had Free Comic Book Day, which is always early May. I went down to Krypton Comics and hung out, and Billy from the Indiana Toy Comic Expo was there doing the ITCE podcast, where we talked comics and Infinity War and this, that, and the other thing. And I was on most of that, so you could visit the ITC podcast and listen to their Free Comic Book Day special episode. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not canceled. In fact, it's renewed for season 6, and we all went, hallelujah! Well, yay! Because it had been up in the air there for a while. Especially after what happened in Infinity War.
Yep.
May also saw the passing of Margot Kidder, aka Lois Lane, from the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. Prince Harry married Meghan Markle at St. George's Chapel. So, nice, beautiful royal wedding that I got up at butt crack of dawn to watch. And then I guested on the True North Nerds podcast.
Yes.
With Kevin and Ryan.
Yep.
Ryan. The two of their other hosts were on vacation.
And you talked Oscar.
Yes. No, that's different. True North Nerds,
right.
we just True North Nerds, we just kind of talk just news.
That's
It's
right.
kind of a news. Yeah. I've been around. I got
Yes, you
around a
have.
lot in 2018. So
Yeah, I needed a scorecard for your guest.
and
Your
I've already
hosting.
started making the rounds for 2019. And that will be announced once that podcast actually launches. So,
So, I mean, I was half right. You have done a podcast on another,
yes,
on another show with
yeah,
talking Oscar.
yeah, we'll get to that too. And then we saw the release of Solo, a Star Wars story.
Which I don't know, sound like a bad Star Wars fan. I finally saw for the first time last month. I don't know why it took me so long. It just things happened, and
Yeah.
by the way,
happens.
I really liked it. So
Yep.
yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yep.
And then June, I attended Indie PopCon again, as I do every year, and I've got my full recap of that, including interviews on episode 189, so you can hear me talk to Ross Mullen, speaking of White Walkers in Game of Thrones. Peter's Fellows. I did a couple different panels. We with Brandon and Cullen of Cult Cinema Cavalcade, we traumatized a lot of people by having Avengers in jars at the booth. Still have no idea what we're going to do this year. It's really just going to depend on how Endgame goes. And also during that same weekend was our podcast's 4th birthday.
Woo!
Oh, that was exciting. Who North America got featured on a local TV station here in Indy, and I make an appearance, along with some other faces that you may recognize if you're part of the cosplay / Doctor Who fandom community in the area. We had a big, fun episode.
Yes.
Our armchair con chair episodes,
Yes.
episode 190, where we sat down, put on our thinking caps, and if money, space, and time was no object, let's put together the most, blue sky, sky is no limit, nerd comic convention that we could possibly think of.
Yes.
And we got a lot of great ideas, not only, from ourselves, but from our guests, including Rob from Southgate Media Group, Chris, who owns the Blue Box Cafe out in Illinois, which I still need to get out there. Doctor Who Cafe. Why have I not been out there? Because it's not in my state. That's why. And then Sean from Traveling the Vortex joined us for that. So, yeah. And then Fox accepted Disney's offer after some negotiating between Fox and Disney and Comcast, I think. Was it Comcast?
I
tried to come in.
So
And
I can't remember, but
Yeah,
usurped
right.
Disney's offer. Yeah. But Fox finally said, no, Disney, you win. Sold for $71.3 billion with a B dollars.
That's a lot of money. Yep.
lot of
And
heroes
Disney
after
wound
that.
up getting quite a few more princesses to their list.
Yes. Deadpool can now be a Disney princess.
Yep.
And then we also saw the release of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which coincided with the 25th anniversary of the Jurassic Park franchise. And we discussed both the movie and the franchise as a whole with Chauncey.
Yes, we.
Oh, right. I wasn't there. I don't remember that. I think that's when I was on vacation. Or when I started my vacation.
Probably. And then July, I attended In Conjunction, which I do a recap of in episode 193, which that was it's always such a random convention. It's small, it's laid back, but it's always just so random. And this last one was no exception with, having panels at 1 a.m. Not going to make that mistake this year. As fun as it was, I did not like being up that late. And then we also got a release of Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was a nice pick-me-up after Infinity War until you get to the post-credit scene, and then it's not so happy anymore.
No. Expected, but
Still not happy. And then, as we happen to have every year about this time, episode 195 was us talking about Fandom Christmas, aka San Diego Comic-Con, which, all things considering, was not huge, at least as far as our fandoms were concerned, because Doctor Who had a presence, which was great. But there was no official Marvel presence.
Right.
There was no Hall H or anything. Marvel was there, slightly off property, offering therapy and donuts to fans that were still in denial from Infinity War.
Yeah. And then some of the other major news is coming out of some of the other smaller cons, which is a little
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens Fandom Christmas this year.
Yeah.
Because likely there's not going to be another Doctor Who presence because there's no Doctor Who this year.
Right.
And I can't imagine Marvel is going to do much of anything because it'll be post Endgame
Right.
and post actually Far From Home as well. So there aren't any other Marvel releases, but there is a D23 Expo this year.
So we should be getting some Star Wars.
We'll more than
news,
likely
I would think.
We'll more than likely get anything Marvel related out of D23 Expo. Star Wars I expect to come out of Star Wars Celebration, which is in April this year.
Okay.
So if we haven't gotten a title and or teaser for episode 9 before then, I would expect it to come out of Celebration.
Yeah.
So, which is this spring. And then on episode 196, Aaron, the Indie Disney Meet, joined us to do a little talk to hype up the event for the year, so, which I was very excited about. And I'm still, I look back on that and I'm like, oh, that was fun.
With the Dole Whip.
Yep. And then August, it was announced that Patrick Stewart is going to return to the role of Captain Jean-Luc Picard in a new Star Trek series.
Yes.
And we all went, make it so. So, and that's in production. So we may get something out of that from San Diego Comic-Con, more than likely. So, if not, I don't know when Star Trek has their next big get together. So, we had the several passings actually in August. So we had the passing of Charlotte Rae from The Facts of the Life of Different Strokes. We had the passing of Aretha Franklin and the passing of Michael Pickwood, who is a production designer for Doctor Who. Those all happened in August. I attended Gen Con again, which I recapped in episode 187 with a returning guest of the show, Beth from The Crafty Nerd. So that was fun to get her perspective of the event versus mine, because she was actually staying at a hotel and she had different interests than mine. She LARPs and does other things. So we'll see if she wants to join us again this year, because I know this year I think she's gonna LARP some more, but then she's also started playing Magic the Gathering. So I think she's looking forward to doing that at Gen Con as well. No idea what I'm going to do at Gen Con this year, other than to make sure I don't die. Like I do
good.
every year. Every year I learn a bit more about how to handle Gen Con. So, and then I had my other big convention weekend where I just kind of feel like death by the end of it, mostly because of just all the driving I have to do. So my back-to-back weekend at the end of August, where Chauncey and I attended the Indie Disney Meet, which was a ton of fun. Chauncey got to show off the VR system and the hot air balloon, which was very, very popular. I got to see some returning faces and got to see Lou in person for the first time in way too long. So hopefully if Lou gets to return this year, he'll actually get to stick around for a little bit and not book himself so heavily. So and then the following day was the drive to Bloomington for the Indiana Toy Comic Expo, where I got to table in the inaugural Podcasters Row. So I had a table right next to Tony from Geeking in Indiana, where we got to sit and talk podcasts with people who stop by and watch the droids from the Rebel Legion and 501st as they drove them by. The droids would go back and forth in front of us, and then we had our mega podcasting panel with myself and Billy and Gil from his podcast, which I'm blanking on the name on. Sorry, Gil. Nerd Up Podcast, something like that. Where we talked Marvel, DC, all sorts of things. So it was a very nerdy panel. And then Weird Al got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which was rather exciting. So could finally check that off for all the Weird Al fans. But he finally has that now. If we could just get him into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes.
We would be golden. That campaign is still going strong. He's been eligible for so long.
Yep.
And they still just does not quite made the cut quite yet. Oh, and then at the end of August, also August 28th, was National Power Ranger Day. In honor of the 25th anniversary of the premiere of the Power Rangers in the United States. September was actually really short because I went on vacation for almost 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it was a pretty quiet news month too.
Yeah, that too. That it was nice that the internet did not like explode while I was on vacation and didn't have internet. Although Chrissy did attend at Salt Lake Fan X that same time. I guested on Cult Cinema Cavalcade where we talked Oscar.
There we go.
And I have left my mark on Cult Cinema Cavalcade. That still is getting referenced.
Nice.
By picking that particular movie, I set the bar so low as far as quality of film.
Aw.
No, I'm proud of it. I'm in no way insulted whatsoever. They wanted crap film. I brought them crap. Although I say that I love Oscar.
Me too.
But still, they wanted me to bring something that would fit in their wheelhouse. I brought it. And Brandon still wants to get revenge on me for it. We were at PopCon Fort Wayne and discussing it, and there were discussions of having me back on and forcing me to watch something that involves spiders. Because he knows how much I hate them.
Was arachnophobia brought up?
Yeah. Along with some other movies that I was like, no.
You shouldn't react because then they like ooh, this one.
No. But no, I'm quite proud that even now, after more than 3 months, that every now and then that it still gets brought up. That was a movie that they were forced to review and they hated it. Like, yeah, go me.
My job here is complete.
Yep. Like, if I'm never on Cult Cinema Cavalcade ever again, I did good right out the gate.
You hit a walk-off home run.
Yep. Like, drop mic.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Peace.
Rachel has left the building.
Yep. But if they ever do invite me back, I still got ideas. I got more where that came from.
So be careful, guys.
Yep.
Just don't.
We'll see how long before I get invited back. And then also in September, once I returned from my vacation and Chrissy returned from her mini vacation at Salt Lake Fan X, we reached episode 200.
Woohoo!
We celebrated big time with epic episode joined by Sean from Traveling the Vortex. And we had our giveaway that we drew our winners and announced our winners with episode 200 with our prizes that were so graciously donated to us by USAopoly.
Yes.
So hopefully the people that won have enjoyed their prizes. So, let's see. And then October, once again, photo challenge time with our annual 31 days of Halloween. So, and my my answer for the prompt for scariest episode was changed.
I was gonna say, I bet I know what this
with last season.
Yeah, I think I know which one it is right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Although my
something
previous
in the UK.
although my previous answer was kind of in the same vein. So, but this was worse. So, my previous answer had been dethroned to certain creepy crawlies in the UK. And will probably stay that answer for the foreseeable future.
Yes. Yeah, because we
Until
had
next
creepy crawlies
season, and then even have the ghost
the
spiders
last season of
and
Peter
more.
Capaldi's run too.
It's like I don't know how they could top spiders the size of Volkswagens. So
Yeah.
Spiders the
Let's
size
not give
of-
them any ideas.
yeah. Chris Chibnall, if you hear this, no more. Like, I'll keep watching, except for those episodes.
So basically, Doctor Who did its purpose. You were watching from behind the couch.
Yeah. So, I attended the Women in Podcasting Festival up in Chicago, which was put together by Southgate Media Group. So, again, thanks to Rob and Martha for putting that together, especially in such a short time frame, from kernel of idea to it actually happening. So I look forward to seeing what they decide to do this year. And then, speaking of Doctor Who, it returned after what seemed like ages with The Woman Who Fell to Earth, with the premiere of Jodie Whittaker as not only the new Doctor, but the first female Doctor, which was quite fun. I actually just rewatched that last night, and for the first time since actually it premiered. And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot how good this. I hadn't really forgot, but it was just in my head. I remember that I thought it was good, but just to see it again, I was like, oh yeah, this is still good. So. We had our other royal wedding when Princess Eugene married Jack Brooksbank. The first domino is knocked over on Netflix with the cancellation of Iron Fist.
Which, to be fair, was the least shocking one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it was announced. I wasn't that surprised. It was just the dominoes that fell after.
That was the shocker.
That's true.
Yeah.
It was the start of a trend that we did not see coming, unfortunately.
A quasi Thanos finger snap. But...
Yeah, really. It was announced that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were and still are expecting their first child. So that was it's exciting. I always love Royal Baby Watch. The question is, as we get into the spring, who's going to pop first? Megan or April the giraffe? And then we had another exciting podcast episode with a guest, episode 204, where we're joined by YouTuber Jacob the Carpetbagger, which was rather exciting.
Yes, it was.
He's over in the West Coast right now doing a whole bunch of stuff out in California with Adam Wu. Been quite entertaining. Because Jacob's, Jacob and Adam the Wu and Tim Tracker, like those three are very entertaining to watch. And they all of their channels are very similar, although with Tim Tracker and his wife, because they are local to Orlando, a lot of their vlogs are bouncing between the different theme parks, not just Disney, but Universal and SeaWorld and Legoland and all those. But occasionally they do cross over with each other. And when these particular personalities get together, it's just even more entertaining. So at the moment, with Jacob and Adam the Woo hanging out together, it's even more entertaining. And then Adam the Woo was in Florida in December and hung out with Tim Tracker for a little bit, and it's like pouring gasoline on an already raging fire. So as far as I can tell, it looks like Jacob's having fun, which is good. And then Chauncey and I guested on the Spark of Madness again, this time talking Friday the 13th, part 6, aka these kids are going to need therapy. And then the next domino fell and Luke Cage was canceled, which was definitely more surprising. And then I attended Doctoberfest at Who North America, as I do every year. And thankfully, this last year, it was not completely freezing. It was a little cold, but with proper layers, it was tolerable. So, which was good. And then in celebration of Halloween, because we don't really do scary movies, we instead decided to talk a monster comedy movie, with my husband Chauncey and his friend Matt, talking about their film that Chauncey made when he was a student called Weekend Assignment, which is a Bigfoot movie. And then November, we had the release of Bohemian Rhapsody, which was quite fun. And it's getting ready to get re-released in sing-along version.
Yes. Check your local listings.
Yep. So if you want to see it again and actually be able to know the words, if you somehow forgot.
Yeah.
Or, just wanted better encouragement to sing along a little louder. Because I sang along.
I sure did.
Without the sing-along version, and the people around me were, but nobody was like singing at the top of their lungs. So with words on the screen, maybe more encouraged to sing a little louder. And then the other punch in the gut, fandom wise, if Infinity War wasn't bad enough with our half of our fictional characters kicking the bucket, the creator of a number of those characters, Stan Lee, passed away in November, which was quite sad.
And this next little bit of news had us all like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Say what now?
Yeah, considering it hasn't even come back yet.
Exactly.
It's not going to come back until after Endgame.
Yeah.
But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has already been renewed for season 7.
Because when I saw that, I was scrabbling to IMDb and was like, did I miss a season somewhere?
I was like,
did I get sucked into a pocket universe for a year?
Yeah.
For me, I was like, are they just posting old news? Like, wait a second, that says 7, not 6.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Blink, blink, check the glasses. Yes.
Yeah.
The brand new prescription.
Yeah.
Did they do a typo?
Yeah. Like, nope. they're just on the ball. So,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm
Not
not
that we are
complaining.
complaining. We're happy.
Very happy. So.
Extremely happy. It's like I remember like when they announced season 6 and they announced that it was gonna hit summertime. I was worried because usually when that happens, a lot of times
That's a death knell.
yeah. So I was like, oh no. But
Yeah.
it'll
Be interesting to see what happens when it does come back this summer.
Mm-hmm.
You know how because of the delay, how much they'll be able to more tie it into what is happening in the movies. So, and I still want Coulson to come back.
Mm-hmm. And we want good ship Fitzsimmons to keep on sailing.
Yep. Like, bring back Coulson and do not sink good ship Fitzsimmons, and we'll be fine.
like with like every time like something little happens or something major happens with that ship, I'm like Captain Jack Sparrow. Stop blowing holes in my ship.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. And then, although the focus was 99% on Mickey Mouse, every now and then somebody else would remember that it was also Minnie Mouse's birthday, that they celebrated their 90th birthday. So I know the focus is mostly on Mickey because he was, he was, first as far as, who Walt came up with. Thought of Mickey first and then realized, oh, Mickey should have a girlfriend, and then came along Minnie. But technically it was both their birthdays. And then we got the release of Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, or as we called it, The Lies of Grindelwald.
Yes.
Yep.
And they set up for the next 3-ish movies.
However many that J.K. Rowling can pull out of that little brain of hers.
Yeah.
So. definitely expanding the wizarding world as we know it.
Yes.
What we know of the wizarding world, so.
And we're not complaining.
No, not at all. And Ralph Breaks the Internet also came out.
Yes.
November as well. I did not see it in November. It came out in November.
Yep.
And then last month we finally could stop calling it Avengers 4 or Infinity War Part 2. I was just calling it Avengers 4 for the most part.
Yeah.
And we got not only the title announcement, but a teaser, which again feels. And we're now quickly looking, as I said earlier, 3.5 months from now, we will get Avengers Endgame and get the resolution of Infinity War.
And some very interesting tweet exchanges between NASA and Mr.
Marvel.
Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, on behalf of Tony Stark.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm over here like, NASA, if you can get a lock, because Nick Fury is dusted at the moment, if you can get a lock on Carol Danvers.
Yes.
Give her some space-time coordinates for the Milano. It's Tony and Nebula need some help.
Yeah.
Definitely Tony. I think Nebula could last a little longer. Although she still has lungs, so I guess if air ran out, she could probably last a little longer without food and water because she's not entirely organic anymore. But she still has to breathe, so I guess she would probably pass out at the same time that Tony did once they ran out of oxygen. So, but still, save them, Carol. Hopefully. I'm hoping that's the post-credit scene for Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
It's like her getting the page from Nick Fury that we got at the end of Infinity War,
Mm-hmm.
and then on her way back to Earth from wherever she was out in space somewhere, that she just happens to pass by the Milano.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey guys, need a lift.
Yeah.
It's like the end of Thor Ragnarok, but better.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of death and destruction, it's help.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see. We'll find out in like 50 something days.
Oh, that's even closer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's not the post-credit scene for Captain Marvel, hopefully it's a scene in Endgame. So it's like
Yeah.
we'll either find out in early March or we'll find out in late April. So, let's see. December, we saw the passing of Penny Marshall, Laverne and Shirley fame, among other things. And then we also saw the passing, this was closer to the end of the month, but still, we saw the passing of W. Morgan Shepherd, Mark Shepherd's father. So, and then we had the release of Mary Poppins Returns, which Brittany has finally seen.
Yes. God, the day after we recorded last week.
Yeah. Oh,
Which was really good. I loved
yeah.
it.
You
We'll
laughed,
see
you
it again.
cried. We need a sing-along version of that too. Oh, very catchy, some of those tunes.
And I bought the soundtrack and have listened to quite a few of the songs multiple
Yeah.
times already.
It's so good. So, and then Chauncey and I guested on Spark of Madness again. So I was on Spark of Madness 3 times last year. Chauncey was on 4 times, 4 or 5 times last year. So I know there was at least one time where he guested and I didn't. I didn't join him. I can't remember if they did The Last Jedi
That could be. That
in
might be.
2017 or if it was early 2018.
I can't remember.
I don't remember either. But he did Ernest Scared Stupid. Which I didn't go for that one. So but yeah, we did one more guest appearance on Spark of Madness, this time talking Christmas Vacation, where we spent most of the time with me sitting and watching the rest of the guys laugh as they quoted the movie to each other. And I'm over here like, I have genuine like, points of interest to discuss here, and they're just laughing at each other.
Can I hop in here, please?
Yeah. Like, fun fact. I'm like, why is the carpet wet, Todd? I don't know.
She died so many years ago. The blessing.
Yeah. The blessing. Where's the Tylenol?
Yes.
And then to wrap up the not only December but the year, considering the event ended the day before the last day of the year, I attended PopCon Fort Wayne, which was PopCon's first out-of-town event. It was my first time staying at a hotel with the convention, which was quite fun. And got to see some familiar faces. Did several stints on the live podcasting stage, which you can catch one of those recordings in the feeds. And then I got to have a very fun interview with Barry Bostwick, which was entertaining, to say the least. And I got a pair of his underwear. Which is still funny. I had someone ask me about how Popcorn Fort Wayne went the other day. I was like, oh, it was great. I told them, they were like, it's like I got a pair of Barry Bostwick's underwear. They're like, what? Several people gave me looks, and then one person was like, oh yeah, he was doing that one at the con that I went to, and I saw him. So. Oh. That was our 2018. Oh, it was something. There is a lot of good. As much as we talked, about how Marvel, kind of killed us all.
I've definitely had more years.
Yeah, it was something. It's like you killed me, but at the same time, it's like, well, the story's not done yet, so we'll see at the end of April what happens, how we feel about it. So, and believe me, we will tell you about it. We will have thoughts. Gotta do Captain Marvel first.
Which looks so good.
Yes, it does. I'm so excited. So I'm sure we're forgetting stuff. I did my best going through the social media feeds to see, what was shared and what was discussed. That sort of thing. I mean, obviously there's a lot of trailers and teasers for stuff that's coming out this year, but we've already discussed those, and we may or may not discuss those films when they come out at some point this year. So, but 2018 overall, it wasn't bad. It was not that bad. I'm very fortunate that I was able to attend so many events. I did Indiana Comic Con, Hoosier Con, PopCon in Indy, Gen Con, Indie Disney Meet, ITCE, and PopCon Fort Wayne. I guess, count Doctoberfest in there too. So that was 9 kind of convention / events that I went to. So, and then I was on Cult Cinema Cavalcade once, True North Arts once. I was on Spark of Madness 3 times. So I guested on 5 different podcast episodes, 3 different shows. So, and we had a nice array of guests on our show, and we're always very grateful to the people that I reach out and say, "Hey, would you like to be on our show?" And they go, "Yes," and I'm like, "Yay!" As much as we enjoy talking to each other, and I'm sure hopefully our listeners enjoy listening to us voice our opinions. That's always fun to throw another opinion in there.
Yep.
Another voice, and both repeat guests. Chauncey's been on several times, Beth has been on a couple of times, Kevin's been on a couple of times. So odds are some of those people you will probably hear again, especially with the Marvel releases coming up soon, and events and that sort of thing. And 2019 looks to be shaping up to be another very busy year, both for movies and events. So, in fact, I've already been to the movies twice this year. And then I've watched three movies at home.
Yeah, I've seen that you've been working on your.
Yeah, I'm still working.
Alumni.
Yeah, I'm still working on my MCU alumni watch. At the very least, I hope to have all the OG Avengers checked off by the time Endgame comes out. So I still need to check off Ruffalo, Chris Evans, and Jeremy Renner.
Do you know what you're doing for those yet, or?
I don't know yet.
Chris
I have a
Evans,
list.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I've seen that, though. It has to be something I've
oh.
never seen before.
Oh.
So, which I just updated my blog actually today with what movies I've watched since the last time. So, since my last blog post, which was just a couple of months after Infinity War, and at that point I had knocked off like 12 movies and like 16 different actors, because there were several movies where there was more than one in it, which worked out really well. This go round, not so much, and partially because that ended up going into the summer where it's very convention and vacation heavy for me. So that made it a little harder for me to check off things. But in the last 6 months, I had checked off 12 more movies and 10 or 11 more actors, because there were a couple of movies that were repeat actors. So, because I'd already checked off Benedict Cumberbatch, but I'd seen The Grinch. So, and then Samuel L. Jackson was in 2 of the movies. So he only gets counted once. So, but unfortunately, most of the movies I watched, there was like a single MCU person in it. The one exception was Kong Skull Island, where I was able to check off 3. But Samuel L. Jackson I already checked off, so technically I checked off 2. But there were 3 in there. So, but between Netflix and Hulu, I have plenty of options. I just need to find the time and decide. I'm probably just going to flip a coin. Be like, okay, I've got these actors and these movies, or write them down and throw them in a hat or something. So, first world problems. So many actors, so little time. Anywho, anybody have anything else you want to? Anything fandom news related that sticks out in 2018 that we maybe missed? It all blends together after a while, I know.
Yeah.
It does. I can't think of anything.
Yeah. No. Well, if any of our listeners want to chime in, if there's something that stood out as far as a piece of fandom news or a milestone or something that we failed to mention, because we forget these things. Time moves so fast. Even with social media keeping track of everything, stuff still gets lost, falls between the cracks. You can send us feedback. The easiest way to do that is to visit our website, which is the5ishfangirls.com. From there, you can send us an email, connect to any of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can contact us on any of those. YouTube, that is available as well. Speaking of YouTube, video up on our channel. Video from PopCon Fort Wayne. Speaking of PopCon Fort Wayne. So what video I got at the convention is up on our channel. So you can go check out some of the shenanigans that occurred at the event. So, so you can go to our YouTube channel and watch that. There's also on our website are the links to our Patreon. So if you wish to support us financially, you can do that on Patreon, where you could just set up a recurring donation once a month for as little as $1 a month. If you do want to support us financially in another way, you can do that via our Amazon affiliate link. So if you need to buy socks for your kids, you click on our link and then buy those said socks on Amazon, and we get a small kickback. It doesn't cost you any more. You can use Amazon Prime if you're a Prime member. Get that free 2-day shipping, and it still helps us financially. We also have merchandise, which there's a link to that. You can buy our shirts and other things with our logo on it and other designs that I'm slowly working on. I'm relatively proficient with the software programs that I need to use to make these designs, but I'm still slow. So,
You're doing it right. You're doing it right.
Yeah. I'd rather do it slowly and get it right than, make a mistake and then have to take the design down and be like, sorry, and have somebody accidentally order something with a design that's wrong. So, which now that Doctor Who's off for a while, once I get to the 13th Doctor for that particular design, then, I've got all those episodes to pull quotes from. So, so there is that. There's also the link to the Goodreads book club. So if you're a Doctor Who fan and like reading Doctor Who related books, you can go join our book club on Goodreads, where we pick a book and once a month and read it and discuss it on Goodreads. And that is it for now. So we've got some things in the works. We need to do some discussions off recording. I've got some ideas. Want to make some plans and working on guests potentially for 2019. A lot of emailing, a lot of communicado with various peoples. So we'll see. Now that everything's back into the swing of things, hopefully get the ball rolling on some things. But stay tuned. How's that for a tantalizing teaser? Mm-hmm. See the carrot? All right. Oh, with that, I'm getting hungry. So let's. Speaking of carrots, talking about food, I'm getting hungry. With that, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Bethlehem saying goodnight.
This is Sally from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Stay warm if you're someplace cold.
To the 5-ish Fangirls podcast. You can find more episodes and information at the5ishfangirls.com. Any and all books, movies, games, and any other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied. If you wish to support the show, the easiest way is to leave us a rating and review on iTunes. More ratings and reviews will make it easier for others to find the show. If you wish to support us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/5ishfangirlspodcast. All money goes towards fees and equipment to keep the show going. For official 5-ish Fangirls merchandise, visit redbubble.com/people/5ishfangirls. We love hearing from our listeners and encourage feedback. You can email us at 5ishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/5ishfangirls. Thank you so much for listening, and may the squee be with you.